Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. This dictionary helps you write and speak better English, understand more easily and more quickly, avoid common mistakes, learn more effectively. Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, the dictionary that really teaches English. Millions of students around the world have improved their written and spoken English using the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. This new edition will help you write and speak better English, understand more easily and more quickly, avoid common mistakes, and learn more effectively. More information, easier to use, easy to understand definition written within a definition vocabulary of words. Hello guys, for you which are in my YouTube channel, my name is Valdo Mário. I'm talking over here. I'm here in Mozambique. I'm from Mozambique. I'm students also. So I'm here to share something different, like such as I usually used to publish on my YouTube channel. So I hope you to put the like, to share, and also to comment. If you comment, I'm going to answer. It's going to be a pleasure to answer them. So uh, on my YouTube channel, as I said, for today I'm going to put something different, but it's not completely different because 2 days ago I put something like this. I'm going to put also today. I'm going to speak or to put something related to the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. For you which linguistic have a linguistic interest, and for you which not if this interest but which you are ever here, please share the video and put a like so that the video might arrive into people which have linguistics interests such as English and content like this. So, for you which have difficulty or you which like or either English, that's for you this content also. So let's go for the content of today I've prepared for you. Linking words together. This dictionary is not just a list of words and their meanings. It contains much more information that can help you to speak and write good, natural English. In order to use a word correctly, you need to know how to link it to other words in a sentence. The dictionary gives you information about the grammar of a word and about the structure that often follow it. It also tells you whether a word is formal or informal, helping you to choose what is appropriate for a particular context. The dictionary also helps you to learn a word as part of a larger unit of language. For example, as one element of a compound or in a common phrase. Compounds. A compound is a noun, an adjective, or a verb that has been created from two or more simple words. The second word of a compound may follow the first after a space, or it may be linked more closely to it with a hyphen. For example, car park, swimming pool, daughter-in-law, middle of the road. You will often find a compound spelled by different people in different ways, and sometimes you may find it spelled as a single word with space or hyphen. This dictionary gives you the most common form of, of each compound and lists them after the symbol. Near the end of the entry for the first of the words they are created from. Those normally spelled as a single word are listed separately as head words. Noun hash noun. In English, you often find two nouns next to each other without any linking words or apostrophe is these noun groups these noun groups these noun groups are not compounds and do not have their own entries in the dictionary. The first noun is used like an adjective and describes the noun that follows it. Example: the chair back, the back of the chair. A family holiday, a holiday for the family. Garden flowers, flowers grown in a garden. Where a noun is often used in this way, examples are given at the dictionary entry. Verb hash noun phrase. Another common feature of English is the use of a verb like have, make, take, or do followed by a noun. For example, have a shower, take a rest, make arrangements, do the washing. The verb by itself has little meaning. It has become part of a common phrase, a single unit of language. Sometimes more than one verb is possible. You can say, make a decision, take a decision, and have a bath, take a bath. Example sentences at the intro for a noun show you which constructions you can use. Other units of language, where the verb is always linked to an adverb or a preposition. It is known as a phrasal verb and is listed in this dictionary after the symbol PHRV. Its meanings must often be learned separately from the simple verb it is derived from. Common phrasal verbs include look after somebody and hold somebody or something up. She looks after her elderly mother. Traffic was held up for over 2 hours. For help with phrasal verbs, A to 3. Items often have meanings that are not easy to guess, and they must be learned as individual units of your language. What, for instance, do you think this item's meaning? Push the belt out. Push one's luck. Push up daisies. Push up daisies. Look at the push to find out. For help with items age 6 to 7 on this dictionary. Phrases such as burst into tears, pay attention, are not items but are simply the way that a particular idea is expressed in English. This close, almost fixed association of words is called collocation. Example: sentences at end and try show these phrases in duck type to help you learn them. For help with collocation, A 4 to 5 into this dictionary. So, phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs. What are phrasal verbs? Look at the verbs in the sentence below. John turned down the offer of a lift home. Buying that new car has really eaten into my savings. I don't think I can put up with these behaviors much longer. Phrasal verbs, sometimes called multi-words, sometimes called multi-word verbs, are verbs which consist. Phrasal verbs, sometimes called multi-word verbs, are verbs which consist of two or sometimes three words. The first word is a verb and it is followed by an adverb, turn down, or a preposition, it into, or both, put up with. These adverbs, these adverbs or prepositions are sometimes called particulars. In this dictionary, phrasal verbs are listed at the end of the entry for the main verb in a session marked PHRV. They are listed in a alphabetical order of the particles following them. Look at the entry for fight, where the phrasal verbs come after the items. Here's definition: PHRV, fight back. Fight back, to find with new force and strength, to show resistance. After a disastrous first half, we fought back to level the scores. Don't let them bully you. Fight back. Fight something back or down to suppress feelings and more. Fight back tears or a sense of disgust. Fight for something, to try very hard to obtain or achieve something. Fight for one's freedom or independence or rights. She is now fighting for her life in hospital. Fight somebody or something. Or F. Fight somebody or something. F. To resist somebody or something by fighting against them or it. They had to fight off repeated enemy attacks. Fight off a cold or feeling of tiredness. Fight something out, to settle an argument, a dispute, more, by fighting. I can't help them to resolve the quarrel. They must fight it out between them. Some verbs, for example, bring, come, and take, have many phrasal verbs associated with them. To help you find a particular phrasal verb more easily, the PHRV section of such verbs is divided into paragraphs, so that all the phrasal verbs using a particular particle are grouped together. If you look at the entry for come, you will see that the phrasal verbs using the particle across are in a separate paragraph from those using the particle about and from those with the particle after. Look at the entry below. It ought to have a meal in a restaurant. It ought to have a meal in a restaurant, and more, rather than at home. Example, I'm too tired to cook tonight. Let's eat out. Eat out is intransitive, and the two parts of the verb cannot be separated by any other words. You cannot say, for example, shall we eat tonight out? In order to use transitive phrasal verbs correctly, you need to know where to put the object. Because of the way it lists phrasal verbs, the dictionary can help you with this. With some phrasal verbs, often called separable verbs, the object can go either between the verb and the particle or after the particle. Example, she threw the letter up. She threw up the letter. When the object is a long phrase, it usually comes after the particle. Example, she tore up all the letters that he had ever sent her. When the object is a pronoun, for example, it's standing for the letter, it must always go between the verb and the particle. Example, she read the letter and then tore it up. In the dictionary, verbs that are separable are written like this: tear something up. When you see something or somebody between the two parts of the phrasal verb, you know that they can be separated by an object. Some important here phrase meanings of call something off: to conceal or abandon something. Call off a deal or a journey or a picnic or a strike. They have called off their engagement, decided not to get married. The match was called off because of bad weather. You can say they called the deal off and they called off the deal. With other phrasal verbs, sometimes called inseparable verbs, the two parts of the verb cannot be separated by an object. For example, John's looking after the children, not John's looking the after. Another example, John's looking after them, not John's looking them after. In the dictionary, verbs that are inseparable are written like this: look after somebody. When you see somebody or something after the two parts of a phrasal verbs, you know that they cannot be separated by an object. Go off somebody or something, breathe in, to lose interest in somebody, to lose one's taste for something. Jane seems to be going off Peter. I've gone off beer. You can say, I've gone off chocolate, not I've gone chocolate off. When you look at when you look up a phrasal verb in the dictionary, note the position of somebody or something. It will show you where you should put the object of the verb. Some transitive phrasal verbs can be made passive. The deal has been called off. Is an example. When this is common, you will usually find an example at the dictionary entry. Related nouns. A particular a particular phrasal verb may have a noun related to it. This is often listed in the compound section of the entry below the phrasal verbs. Look, for example, at the nouns break in and break out in the entry for break. Break dancing, a very lively style of dancing, often in a competition or as a display, as popular with young black Americans. Breaking and entry into a building using force. Police are investigating a break-in at the bank. Breakouts and escape from prison, as one involving the use of force, a mass breakout of prisoners. A noun is often related in meaning to only one or two of the phrasal verbs using a particle. Breaking is related to break in and break into something, but not to break somebody or something in or break in one something. In, or break in on something. Break out is related to break out of something, whereas the noun outbreak relates to break out. There is also a noun breakup which is related in meaning to two phrasal verbs: break up with something, break up with somebody, and to sense of break something up. In this case, the verb and particle have become joined together and form a single word, listed in this dictionary as a head word. Collocation. What is collocation? When we learn a language, we learn how individual words combine together in phrases and sentences. Thus, the following sentence sound right: meals will be served outside on the terrace, weather allowing. It seems to be an acceptable English sentence, and the meaning is not very difficult to understand. They they'll give us our meals outside if the weather is good enough. However, it will sound odd to a native speaker of English because the common combination is not in fact weather allowing but weather permitting. This is something that the native speaker knows but which the learner unfortunately has to learn. It does not help that allow and permit have very similar meanings. Only one of them, permit, is right in this particular context. The way in which words belong together as whether and permitting do is known as collocation. We can talk about both thick fog and dense fog, thick smoke and dense smoke, a thick forest and a dense forest. The meaning is the same, but we do not talk about a person having dense hair. This combination just does not sound right, even though it would easily be understood. Dense, dense does not collocate with hair. We can only talk about somebody having thick hair. It is not possible to analyze real spoken and written texts by computer and to find out which words are typically used with which other words. The collocation of texts which the computer examines is called a corpus. If we ask the computer to search the corpus and make a list for us of which words are most often used with hair, it produces long black, dark brown, cat gray, blonde, short red, fair, curly, dry, white, thick. The corpus shows us that the noun hair combines with a range of adjectives describing its color, length, and texture. It also shows us that thick is most often used with another adjective after it, and the most common adjective is black. There are also close associations between certain adjectives and intensifiers, adverbs, which make an adjective stronger. The most common intensifier is very, which is used before many adjectives. Sometimes, however, a special intensifier collocates with a particular adjective. Sometimes, however, a special intensifier collocates with a particular adjective. Look at the following lists. On the left, there are 7 intensifiers, and on the right, 7 adjectives. See if you can link the pairs that collocate strongly with each other. Here are example vitally important. And here has acutely, heartily, 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 deadly, supremely, highly, immensely. Here are successful, popular, serious, important, aware, sick, confident. The answers are at the bottom of A5 on this dictionary. Types of collocation. In order to write and speak natural and correct English, you need to know, for example, which adjectives are used with a particular noun. Can you say pink wine? Which nouns a particular adjective is used with? What sort of thing what sort of thing does the adjective plush describe? Which verbs are used with a particular noun? You know the word break and that brakes are used to stop cars and more, but which verbs are used with break? Which adverbs are used with a particular verb? Do you complain strongly or bitterly? about something. You also need to know which prepositions are used after particular verbs, adjectives, and nouns. Do you get compensation for something or of something? Collocations in this dictionary. To discover which adjectives to use with a particular noun, look at the examples at the entry for the noun. Typically, typical adjectives used with the noun are separated by a slash. Um, pink wine, wine, and as a definition, an alcoholic drink made from the juice of grapes, grape that has been left to ferment. Open a bottle of wine, dry or sweet wine. There's an example. A glass of red or white or rose or sparkling wine, vintage wines. An alcoholic drink made from plants or fruits other than grapes, grape, apple or cowslip, rice wine. If you look up at an adjective, you will see what nouns it commonly describes. Plush what? Plush, also plushy, adjective is extremely comfortable and expensive. Smart, plush hotel or restaurant. Look at the examples in a noun and try to find out what verbs can be used with it using breaks. Break, it says definition, a device or slowing or stopping a car, bicycle, train, it's and more. Put on or apply or release the. Let's organize the image. Put on or apply or release the brake or brakes. Put on, apply, release. If you look up a verb, you will see the adverbs commonly used with it. Complain strongly or bitterly. Complain to somebody, it means for somebody about or of something, often direct. To say that one is annoyed, unhappy, or not satisfied. Holiday makers complained bitterly that the result was fighting. Grammatically, collocations like prepositions are shown in that type at the beginning of an entry, before the definition, where the pattern is optional. It is given in brackets. Look at the example sentence to see how the patterns are used. So, compensation, compensation for something, it means the action of compensating. Compensating, uh, compensation of injured workers has cost the company a lot. Have you considered the matter of compensation? A thing is an amount of money given to compensate for something received in compensation or by way of compensation was as a compensation for injury. My job is hard, but it has its compensations, pleasant aspects that make it less bad. Important collocations are printed in dark type within the examples to help you learn and use them. Look at the entry for help shown below. At the beginning of the entry, you can see all the grammatical collocations in brackets before the definition, like help of or for something. The example sentences show you these patterns in a typical context. The words or phrases in dark type within the examples are all frequently used with help. If the meaning of the collocation is not obvious, there is a short explanation after it in brackets. The intro shows you can express the idea of a little help, a help that will not succeed, destroying help, a lot of help, increasing help, basing your help on something. So, help of or for something, of doing something or that, a belief that something desired, something desired will happen. Don't raise these hopes too high or he may be very disappointed. There is still there is still a ray or glimmer of hope, slight hope. He painted based all these helpers on getting that job. All our helpers were dashed or shattered by the announcement. It is our hope that you will find this satisfactory. She still cherished, she still cherished a forlorn hope of seeing him again. She has high, she has high hopes, is very confident of winning. They have given up all hope of finding any more survivors of the crash. So here, grammar, a little help, his increasing hope, helps, look at this, basing your hope on something, destroying hope, dash it, helps, and this, a hope that will not succeed, a lot of hope, high, and this. The answers to the linking pairs on A4. The answers to the linking pairs on A4 are vitally important, acutely, acutely aware, heartily sick, deadly serious, supremely confident, highly successful, immensely popular. So I want you to remember to put the like and to share. So still continue of this items. What are items? An item is a process whose meaning is difficult or sometimes impossible to guess by looking at the meanings of the individual words it contains. For example, the price be in the same boat as a literal meaning that it is to interpret, but it also has a common idiomatic meaning. I found the job quite difficult at first, but everyone was in the same boat. We were all learning. Here, be in the same boat means to be in the same difficult or unfortunate situation. Some items are colorful expressions, such as proverbs and sayings. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. It is better to be content with what one has done to risk losing everything by trying to get much more. Too many cooks spoil the broth. If too many people are involved in something, it will not be done well. If the expression is well known, parts of it may be left out. Well, I knew everything would go wrong. It is the usual story of too many cooks. Other items are short expressions that are used for a particular purpose. Hang in there, used for encouraging somebody to remain firm in difficult circumstances. On your bike, used to tell somebody to go away. Other items make comparisons as light as air, as hard as nails. Many items, however, are not vivid in this way. They are considered as items because their form is fixed. For certain, in any case, looking up items. So yeah, the battery is low. The battery of the dispositive I'm using is low. Looking up items. In this dictionary, items are defined at the intro for the first four words, a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb that they contain. This means ignoring any grammatical words such as articles, articles or prepositions. If all the items in which these words occur were listed at bed, be, break, and more, there would be many items at these entries. Instead, there is a note at each telling you to look at the entry for the next noun, verb, adjective, and more, and in the dictionary and in the item. This means that you will find break somebody's heart at heart, not at break, and not have a good words to say for somebody or something at words, not at have or good. Some items consist only of grammatical words such as one, it, or in. These items are defined at the first word that occurs in them. For example, the item one up on somebody is defined at the entry for one, where an item consists only of one of the common words listed above and grammar words. It is defined at the common words. Items are given in alphabetical order within the item section. Grammatical words such as a or an or the somebody or something and the possessive forms one somebody's his her etc as well as words in brackets or after the symbol are ignored. symbol L are ignored. Using items. The dictionary helps you to use items as well as to understand them. It shows you in you. It shows you if you can add any other words to an item. For greater emphasis, you can, for example, add either straight or right to the item hit somebody in the air. Optional words such as straight and right are shown in brackets. The dictionary also shows you which parts of any item you can change. In the phrase any or every, Tom, Dick, and Harry, an ordinary person. You can use either any or every, but you cannot change the names or the order. This information isn't available to Anne, Tom, Dick, and Harry. Not this information isn't available to Anne, Peter, Joy, and Harry. Not this information isn't available to any Harry, Dick, and Tom. In many items, you can vary vary the pronoun or the tense of the verb to suit the sentence. For instance, be in the same boat can be used in different tenses. For example, we are all in the same boat. We were all in the same boat. However, it is not possible to replace boat with ship and keep the idiomatic meaning. Look at the items in the entry for distance. Go the full distance. The example sentences shows you that you can change the tense of go and that you can add the words full. In or into this distance, the symbol L shows you that either in or into is possible. Example sentences illustrates the use of both forms of the item. Keep somebody at a distance. You replace somebody in a item with a person or a group of people. In this case, you could write as an example. She always kept her colleagues at work at a distance. Keep one's distance from somebody or something. This item has two senses. One stands for any possessive form, and in the example sentence, there and his are used agreeing with the subject of each sentence. The brackets round from somebody or something show you that a prepositional phrase with from can be added to the item, but that it can be complete without one. You replace somebody or something with either a person or a group of people, or with a thing or an activity. In the example at sense 2, something is replaced by the words organization. Written within striking distance, this item is not defined there. This item is not defined here, but is cross-referenced to strike. The first full word is the first full word in the item. Palette expressions. In order to palette when you are speaking English, you need to use these phrases correctly. Excuse me. You say excuse me when you want to go past somebody. You also say excuse me to somebody you do not know when you want to attract their attention. For example, excuse me, could you tell me the way to the station? Excuse me, is anyone sitting here? Sorry. You say sorry when you need to apologize for something small. Example, sorry I'm late. I beg your pardon is a formal expression. I beg your pardon, I must have picked up the wrong bag by mistake. Sorry or I'm sorry is used frequently in British English. I am sorry, but do you think you could move your car? I apologize in advance for any inconvenience. Inconvenience. In an in American English, pardon me and excuse me are used for apologize. Apologize. Excuse me or pardon me. I didn't see you there. In British English, you say pardon. In British English, you say pardon or sorry. And in American English, pardon me or excuse me. When you did not hear or understand what somebody said and want them to repeat it, for example, pardon, you could you say that again? Pardon, could you say that again? It is not polite to say what if you have not heard or understood something. I am afraid. You use the phrase I am afraid when you want to apologize because you have to tell somebody something that they may not like. Example, I'm afraid there has been an accident. Nina's not here at the moment. I'm afraid. Can I take a message? Do you have an decaffeinated coffee? I'm afraid not. Has the last bus gone? I'm afraid so. I wonder if you use expressions which show hesitancy when you are asking somebody to do something or asking for a favor. Example, could you just help me move this box, please? I wonder if I could have a copy of that letter. Would you mind if I left a few minutes early today? Do you think I could borrow your car this evening? Please. You say please when you ask for something. In British English, it introduces or ends a request, but in American English, it always ends a request. Please, for example, please could I have the menu? Another example, could I have the menu, please? This is an American request for this two example. Uh, you also use please when you ask somebody to do something. Example, could you post this letter for me, please? Please, could you post this letter for me? Thank you. When somebody gives you something or when you buy something or receive information, you are expected to say something. You are expected to say thank you or thanks. To another place to put the church, to pledge in the church. So I'm going to still carry on with what I was doing on this live. So hoping that you might put your like over here, sharing, so that the video might achieve into people which have an interest, linguistic interest for this also to understand or to watch, yeah, such as because this is a content at English and at my YouTube channel. I'd like also for you to be over here on or to share for that people might watch the contents used to do. So let's still continue the term thank you when somebody gives you something or when you buy something or receive information. You are expected to say thank you or thanks. Some people may be offended if you say nothing. It is not usual to say anything in response to thank you in British English, although some people say that's alright, that's okay, or don't mention it. In American English, you are welcome is common. You say thank you or yes please when you want to accept something. How about another cup of coffee? Thank you, thanks, or yes, please is used. You say no, thank you, or no, thanks when you want to refuse something. Would you like some more cake? No, thank you, or no, thanks. Cheers. Cheers is often used in informal British English to mean thank you. Example, here's that $5 or you or cheers. You also say cheers before you have a drink when you are with other people. So this this is what I prepared for you for today. So leave your like, comment and share. My name is Valdo. I'm a student also. Such this dictionary says this is this is Oxford Advanced Dictionary. It says the dictionary that really teaches English, and millions of students around the world have improved their written and spoken English using the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. This new edition will help you write and speak better English, understand more easily and more quickly, avoid common mistakes, and learn more effectively. Is it good for you? Is it very well, very nice for you? I'm going for more also to put something like this at my YouTube channel. And for you which like English, either English such like me, I want you to visit also my lives, the lives I did at English for you. So I want to still carry on with some important thing for you to know. So I'd like to quit because of the battery is low. So here it's British and American pronunciations. The first pronunciations given in the dictionary is that of younger speakers of general British. This includes a received pronunciation and a range of a similar accents which are not strongly regional. Often the same for American speech with simple automatic changes, for instance, to insert a or in a word such as farm, such as farm. But if the American pronunciation is different in a way which cannot be easily predicted, it is given separately with the label US. The American pronunciations chosen are as far as possible the most general, not associated with any particular region. Most kinds of American English do not have a vowel like British. For in American pronunciations should generally be pronounced in the same way as, for instance, hot, shown as hot, should be pronounced hot. The very large number of words where this is to be done are not marked in the dictionary. In a smaller number of words, British corresponds to America instead. These are in this indicated separately, for instance, soft. Stresses. The mark shows the main stress in a word, comparable, comparable, stressed on the first syllable with ability, stressed on the second. A stressed syllable is relatively loud, long in duration, said clearly and distinctly, and made noticeable, noticeable by the pitch of the voice. Longer words may have one or more secondary stresses coming before the main stress. These are marked with, as in abbreviations. Agricultural, they feel like beats in a rhythm leading up to the main stress. Weak stresses coming after the main stress in a word can sometimes be heard, but they are not compound, but they are not marked in this dictionary. A word or compound that has two stresses in its dictionary form may show a shift of stress when used in a phrase to avoid a clash between two stressed syllables next to each other. For instance, well known as the main stress on noun, but in the phrase well known author, the stress or noun is missing. This kind of stress shift is shown by stress marks on many of the examples in this dictionary. Stress in phrasal verbs. One type of phrasal verb has a single strong stress on the first word. Example, come to something, go for somebody, look at something. This stress pattern is kept in all situations, and the second word is never stressed. If the second word is one which normally appears in a weak form, remember that the strong form must be used at the end of a phrase. For example, look at this, but there is something to look at. Another type of phrasal verb is shown with two stresses. The pattern shown in the dictionary with the main stress on the second word is the one which is used when the verb is said on its own, or when the verb as a whole is the less important word in a phrase. For example, what time are you coming back? He made it up. Fill them in. but the speaker will put a strong stress on any other important word if it comes later than the verb. The stress on the second word of the verb is then weakened or lost, especially if it would otherwise be next to the other strong stress. The important word which receives the strong stress may be between the two parts of the phrasal verb or after both of them. Example: we came back early. I fill it in a form. Fill this form in. Stress in items. Most items are shown in the dictionary with at least one main stress. Find ones first. The learner should not change the position of this stress when speaking, or the special meaning of the item may be lost. So that's all I prepared for you into my YouTube channel. This the battery is